is here. Irish Rover. Googly eyes. Hey, everybody. Look where I'm back at. We're going to make a visit to the courts. Just me, myself, and I. Because I have to pick up a thumb drive with the last court hearing where that idiot, Ian Griffin, served me a subpoena in the courtroom. And I'm going to go home and upload it and publish it so you can see what this fucking tool is doing. Hey, Woody. D.R. Broden, you changed your name. How are you? Glenwood City Aware. Hi there. Louie, how are you? Good to see you in a chat. Brandon, hi. Ian's a wannabe tyrant. Yes, he is. Shirley, good to see you. Hi, Denise. Bokomo, how are you? Hey, Clinton. So, you guys, we're just going to make a hopefully short trip in here, and then I want to come back and talk to you about picking up Jesse today. So, I went and picked up Jesse's cremains from the mortuary place that I've been waiting for on the cremation. So, yeah, that was kind of hard. Hey, fucking fed up. How are ya? Jack Brown. Good to see you. Lois, how are you? Lou Scunt, how are you? Hey, Brandon. All right. Hey, Emotator. All right, let's go see how this is going to work out. It's 10 to 4. Courts aren't supposed to close till at least 4:30. Let's see how many people are at work. Let's see what Allied Security's up to today. I drove the grounds. Didn't see one of them. All right, let's go check it out. Yeah, that was really hard picking up Jesse's cremains. I was gonna live stream it, but it's just been too hard to deal with. And I'm glad I didn't, because I had a breakdown in there because Jesse had some property. And nobody told me he had any property on him. And I got his property. There's Denise. Let's see how she's handling things today. So we're gonna go to the court clerk window, get a flash drive.
Okay. Hey, and let me call you back because I have some people in the court. Bye.
Hi, Denise. How are you?
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks.
You've been on vacation or what?
Well, yeah, something like that.
That's good. You're good. I trust that you have no weapons.
I don't ever carry weapons
That's good.
into the courtroom, into the courthouse. I don't ever carry weapons. Did you have somebody try to carry a weapon in here? Ever?
What was that?
Did you have somebody try to carry a weapon in here?
Yeah, we had a guy with a machete earlier today, so.
A guy with a machete earlier today?
It's like this big. I was like,
Did you hold it for him at least?
no. We called EPD, but.
Well, was he just using it to try to protect himself?
Well, he was in the library and he took it out and put it on the table, so they're like.
Oh, that's not good.
So
Yeah.
he got out and he came back in with it and we're like, hey, there's no weapons in here, so.
So did he leave or did it end up being a big ordeal?
He left, but.
He took his weapon and left? Huh.
Yeah.
Is he known to be homeless?
Yeah, he is. So.
Well, I'm glad the cops didn't get all stupid over it.
Yeah, they did.
That's good news. Woody, I always take my machete to the library or my samurai sword. Listen, I mean, some of these folks, look, I- unless he's being threatening with it, I just, just having it is not criminal. Hi there. Hey, so I was just here to pick up something that Evan had for me.
Okay.
Thank you. So Evan, the deputy court clerk administrator guy, super helpful, very accommodating, follows through. So I put in a records request for this a couple weeks ago, and then I had to go out of town. So I've been gone for a couple of weeks, and is it Evan? Hi, I'm Regan. Have we actually met? I don't think we've met.
No, we haven't. I'm kind of new here.
Yeah. Oh, you are? How
Yeah.
new are you?
What?
How new are you?
Last week of December?
Oh, okay, December. Are you the deputy court clerk administrator?
Kyle.
You replaced Kyle?
Correct.
Did he quit?
No, he got a promotion and he's Alamosa?
Oh, he left. He
Yeah.
left Englewood. Oh, well, good for Kyle. But
Yeah.
we're glad you're here because
Well,
you're very
thank you.
helpful and nice. So, yeah, thank you for this.
Of course, yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Take
Great
care.
being out there.
All right, that's cool. Let's check the court docket. See if there's anybody on here that I'm looking for. No, I don't think so. Where's all your extra staff today, Denise?
Which ones?
All your guys that are wandering.
Securities?
Yeah. Are they supposed to be here?
We are supposed to have one security at every entrance.
One security at every entrance. Wow, because I just went to every entrance and
Really?
there's no security anywhere. I was shocked. I started downstairs and then I went into the parking garage at that entrance and then I came up top. Never saw one person anywhere. Do you actually close this at 4:30?
We close at 4:30.
You do, okay. Because the
We
city,
just work Monday to Friday.
the city itself doesn't close till 5.
Right.
And then do you have extra security after 5 here, all night?
Well, only Monday through Thursday, they stay until 7:30.
Okay,
And then Fridays and Saturday and Sunday until 5.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until 5, huh?
I should have someone at the entrances.
Yeah, you don't have anybody. So is that where they're are they sitting there now?
Yeah, they brought us podiums for us.
They brought you podiums. Interesting. So well,
I don't know.
they're not requiring people like to check in, are they? No. Yeah, I saw nobody, but
I see nobody too.
yeah, that's interesting. Well, thanks, Denise. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.
See ya.
Look at this is their new station. Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, it's better this way. However, well, especially with the way they act, but however, if they're going to be paid for this service, oh, look, there they are. They're driving by. There's 2 of them sitting in the car. So, I want to talk about Jesse for a minute. Hey, whoever just gave that $20 super chat, wow, thank you very much. That was very nice of you. I really appreciate that. Denise has been abandoned. Look, she's been cool, right? So we're gonna go with that and make it a workable thing when I come in here because I really don't want bullshit. And there's always going to be somebody in security anyway. Do there need to be, 4 and 5 of them wandering around acting like idiots? No, there doesn't. But hey, so check this out. It's an urn. So they put some of Jesse's ashes in here today. And I want to have a candid conversation about his death certificate and his autopsy. Yeah, that's one of the shortest visits ever. That's good. That's how it should be, right? So yeah, the little top of the urn unscrews, and then it fills from the top. You can see it's a little thicker. And then so some of his ashes can come with me on the days that I want to feel wise and have some wise help. Yeah, he'll always be close to my heart, right? Yeah, my husband took me out there, and he thought he'd come over here and wait for the truck and see if what's his name, Thug Boy from Allied Security here would want to meet him outside when he took his uniform out, but he's nowhere to be found. So he just thought he would extend the offer. So I want to get back in the car, and I want to talk about Jesse's stuff. So, okay, nobody wanted to take you up on your offer to meet you out here, so I guess we can go now. Interestingly, there was nobody.
I just saw someone drive through.
Yeah, the 2 of them in the car, except Denise, the supervisor who runs the courts, told me that there's supposed to be somebody stationed at every entrance, and they even now have podiums with chairs for them at the entrance, right? So, yeah, Irish Rover. Some people do. So yeah, we're good to go. I'm just going to talk about Jesse's stuff, and I want to show you guys some things. I guess we're done. Yeah, everybody says hey.
Howdy.
David, oops, Mr. Benson.
Mr. Benson was my dad.
Modern Retro Radio says hi, Mr. Regan.
That's better.
He's my chauffeur today. It's my lucky day. He's camera shy, Brandon. He's in the witness protection program, so you're not allowed to film him. So when you see him, just don't film him. Okay, so first off, the Denver Police Department has been on cue about how they've handled this stuff with Jesse and doing an investigation. Were they to begin with? Probably not. However, working through command staff in the Denver Police Department produced a very good result. Would it have produced the same result for everybody? Probably not. That's what concerns me. However, I want to believe that, having talked to the sergeant who heads up the fentanyl investigation unit through the homicide unit, the way deaths are being categorized through DPD is going to change. So all those deaths come across his desk, and he has the opportunity to review why homicide would choose not to show up to a death on the street. I learned a lot through the process, and I get some of it to the point of, there being only so many things they can respond to at once. However, I still have a hard time digesting the facts that DPD has plenty of resources to post on Facebook every day, talking about going and befriending the children at the public school system, to take their therapy dog and their horses and mounted patrol and all this staff into the public schools. They got plenty of resources for that. They got plenty of resources to come out here on a daily basis and harass the shit out of the homeless. They've got plenty of resources when it comes to sweeping people, blah, 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 blah. So in that guy's defense, this sergeant saying, you know, he's only got so much in resources and that homicide can only do so much. I'm sorry, that needs to be a priority, not going into schools and, you know, trying to befriend the children. Oh, and get this, Denver Police Department made a Facebook post this past week. They got a grant or some donation of $26,000 so they could buy balls for the children. So they went out and bought $26,000 worth of sports balls to equip all of their vehicles with, so they can stop and randomly play football, basketball, soccer, whatever, with the children. And I'm supposed to be sitting over here going, oh, that's okay that you left Jesse laying on the sidewalk dead and nobody came to investigate that. Yeah, I understand. I get it. No, I don't. And that's public perception, and that's what the public sees, Denver. So, and that's what you do. So I don't know to what point I applaud these guys for saying they don't have the resources, okay? Yeah, it's a true story. Go on Facebook. If you got Facebook, go pull up Denver Police Department's Facebook page. You'll see it for yourself. It's just, it's nuts to me. So, anyway, this sergeant and this detective in this fentanyl investigation unit have been very good. They've followed through with everything they said they were going to do. However, I am still waiting. But you have a stop sign. So I'm waiting to get a response from this sergeant on some questions I have, because I got a copy of Jesse's autopsy report. And interestingly, the autopsy and the toxicology came back rather quickly, and I think it's because they were starting this investigation. So we actually also have a death certificate for Jesse. And I get the death certificate. Here it is. And the manner of death was an accident. The cause of death, under the title of immediate cause, is toxic effects of methamphetamine. So there were other significant contributors to his death, which are a concern. And in the autopsy report, which is public record, by the way, and that's why I'm talking about it, there's a finding of blunt force injuries to include broken ribs and bruising in his chest and extremities, as well as abrasions on his extremities. So I'm a little concerned about that. Kenny, Mr. Benson getting pulled over by Allied. Stay tuned. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So I have some questions about that. And so that's what I'm waiting on answers for. But at any rate, I have to trust that these findings are accurate and true. I don't understand toxicology when it comes to nanograms and stuff like that for measuring methamphetamine. Does that surprise me that that was in Jesse's system? No, it doesn't. What surprises me is that there was no alcohol in Jesse's system. Yeah, Clinton, I don't know. There was nothing in the report that said there were any life-saving measures taken. But that's a good question. Thank you for bringing that up. But those are the answers that I need. Those are the questions that I need some answers to. And this detective said that, here's the autopsy. I want to give this to you. I want the opportunity to talk to you on the phone and answer any questions you might have. So, yeah, Woody, it is. I think it is too. I mean, I would have thought that it would have been noted. Clinton, don't you think it would have been noted in the autopsy that these rib fractures were because of that? Oh, nobody on the street tried to help Jesse. Yeah. Now, I don't know, I wasn't there, but that's another one of my questions, because according to the police reports, the only reporting party was the person who stayed inside the dentist's office across the street from the Burger King and called 911. Other than that, there were no other witnesses. There were no other interviews in there from witnesses, anything like that. There were no notes from the police that said they did any interview witnesses, nothing like that. So that's another one of my questions to the detective was, did anybody talk to the reporting party? Because there's nothing in the report. What concerns me is that there might have been a fight. And I kind of have some theories in my head, and I want to eliminate them if possible. And since DPD didn't do this investigation on the street, and they're now saying that they're going to, work with me on these things, I want some answers to that. Because this area where Jesse died is notorious for these guys having squabbles over there, for people getting jacked. There's all kinds of bad stuff that goes on in this area where Jesse died. Yeah. Thank you. So those are concerns. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Brandon, I get it. Broken ribs isn't an uncommon thing, but it was in the initial autopsy as blunt force trauma. So I'm not a doctor. I don't review a lot of autopsies. In fact, I've never reviewed an autopsy. So I don't want to make assumptions. But at any rate, I also have a difficult time with the meth being labeled as an overdose. It's not, because they're ruling the death as an accident. They're not saying it was an accidental overdose. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what was in the meth. I don't know how to interpret measuring the amount of meth that was in his body. But these are the complicating factors of his death. So between all those questions I have and this, I think you might have some questions too, as a layperson. Okay, let's all just put ourselves in a position as lay people. None of us are experts. Some of us are in fields and we know a little bit more about certain things, but none of us are doctors on here. And if I have a doctor in here, please. Brandon, from a layperson's perspective, absolutely. It is actually difficult to OD on meth. They said nothing else was in the meth. So yeah, meth toxicity. But Clinton, here's the kicker, and I think we can assess from the contributing conditions. Hypertensive and arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease, pulmonary emphysema, chronic ethanol use with complications including hepatic cirrhosis. But this is the one that really gets me. And protein calorie malnutrition. So, I can hear Jesse's voice right now saying to me, and he always started things out when it was kind of a controversial topic we were talking about on the streets or something bad was going down. His first response would be to me, hey man, you could come live my life for a little while and try this out. You know, this isn't easy. But it was always, hey man. I can totally hear Jesse saying that. If anyone is judging on the meth use, hey man. Either way, Jesse did not deserve to die on a sidewalk behind a Burger King at Broadway and Evans in the middle of central Denver, Colorado in the United States of America. This is the best we've got. Meanwhile, you'll find an article where Denver is now housing 1,000 immigrants in hotels that the homeless were kicked out of. And remember, we reached out to Matt Wilms in the mayor's office and said, shelter these guys. Shelter them. That's all we asked for. Simple shelter. Did Jesse die because none of that happened? I don't know. I can't answer that. But I carry a tremendous amount of guilt for not fighting harder to keep him in that motel that the day he got kicked out for being belligerent. These are all the layers we talk about in homelessness and why there is not a one-size solution for everyone, because they're all individuals. Jesse needed a heavy-duty continuum of care. Jesse couldn't live on his own. He couldn't. And if you want to blame Jesse's situation for drug use, you're just deliberately ignorant, okay? There was an inherent set of barriers for Jesse. Jesse was born to an addict. Jesse was put into the system right away. Jesse was adopted. Jesse himself professed to not have a good adoptive parent relationship, okay? So unless you know this person and unless you've taken the time to understand all the layers of the onion, you have no right or no position to sit back and judge. You can have your opinions, but the second you turn that into judgment, you should check yourself. You really should. I think I'm dealing with this a lot better today now that this is done. I don't know, I guess I was just dreading it. Okay? So, here's Jesse now. And this is the box that he just comes in, right? And here's a card. Let's open it. Thank you for trusting us with the care of your loved one. A better place. And Dolly's the one that I've been working with. And I'm just going to keep Jesse with me until I can decide what I'm going to do with the box. And yeah, we would like the state replaced. But here was the kicker. This was the biggest kicker. this was a sealed bag when she handed it to me. And this was like Jessie, to walk around and carry a manila envelope with just paper. And then just stuff. Jessie always had just stuff, and he would always be giving it away. And but anyway, I didn't realize he had any property with him, so this was hard. But yeah, he had this little thing, and this little gold chain. It's plastic. It's just plastic. And this is just plastic. I don't know where he got it. Probably got it at Goodwill. But he had $1. He had his EBT card, so he could eat. And his Colorado ID that I just got for him. There he is. And some rolling papers. Okay. And some coins at the bottom of that. That's what Jessie died with that day. And yeah, I guess if anybody's gonna steal his identity off of my live stream, shame on you. I guess it's been done before, right? But this was Jessie. I learned a couple more things about Jessie. Just opening this up and kind of going through it. I learned that he had a Washington ID. He lived in Washington State at some point. But this is how Jessie would travel. And then this stuff would end up scattered all over the room. All over the motel room. And then I'd go in there and I'd pick it up, and Jessie would help me, and I'd say, Jessie, you can't scatter this paperwork everywhere. But this was one of the last things that me and the other outreach worker from Coalition for the Homeless were working on, was to get him his glasses. And this was one of the last things that she and I communicated on him about. And she had told him that she was going to go pick up the glasses for him. Mark, I plan on it, but you know, I don't know to what degree I can stay on them. You know what I mean? Here's, you know, some medical papers where all his vitals were being taken every 15 minutes. I'm sure he was being watched for a heart attack or something at that particular time. But this is how Jessie traveled. And there's some tax documents in here. Jessie worked, you know, at King Soopers. And He had like $100 a month retirement from them. These are some of his benefits paperwork. Yeah, see? His Rocky Mountain UFCW unions and employers retail meat pension plan, blah, 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 King Soopers Union. And so, yeah, I think this was the hardest part about today. Here's something from Social Security. Here's a copy of his ID. He'd make lots of copies. And, yeah. Mostly medical stuff. So, at any rate, what ended up happening was that the nonprofit just paid for the cremation. It was just a little over $800. And I wasn't going to jump through their hoops to try to utilize his death benefit of a max of $1,500. They were going to make me, I was going to have to go file with probate court to get a power of attorney to go get a bank statement because they knew he had a bank account. So they were requiring me to show proof of his assets in order to give him the death benefit. And then if he had X amount of money in the bank account at a certain time frame prior to his death, they were going to take so much off of the death benefit. I was like, either it's a benefit or it's not. And I'm not interested in his bank account. I know Jesse didn't have anything. And even if he did, that is not my purpose for wanting to give this guy a proper burial. And he died on March 14th. And I'm just now picking up his remains. Granted, the last 2 weeks have been on me. I was gone. But he was just cremated the end of last week. He laid in that morgue for over 6 weeks, unclaimed, while all these government officials worked to find next of kin. I don't know. It's just a sad situation, but it's just one that I'm going to have to find some closure on. I think I'm there. However, I need these questions answered by this detective, and I'm sure they're busy. You know, Denver and this violent crime rate is a little ridiculous. But nonetheless, my point remains on Denver having a plethora of excuses as to why they don't have enough resources to do the investigations that need done while they're out stocking their cars with balls to go play with children. If you guys want to donate to the nonprofit, Clinton has put the link to the Linktree account. Unfortunately, Amazon Smiles is no longer an option. I need to go in there and figure out how to get that off of there. If you use my PayPal, that is my PayPal. That doesn't connect to the nonprofit. However, money does get used. You're done. So, again, all the ways to donate to the nonprofit are in the About section of the channel, and they're in Linktree. It's not about the money. I would have done it anyway. So, it was my obligation. But that's the story for today. I'm going to go put Jesse on the shelf with the rooster that he bought me. And yeah, that's all right, you guys. It's not a big deal. You don't need to be sorry. So, I asked for help from the government, who holds the purse strings. And they did nothing. In fact, Matt Welms reminded me that he was nothing more than enforcement. So for those of you that think resources are being used correctly, you're just fucking stupid. I don't know what else to tell you. You're stupid. It continues to be a horrific shit show out here in Denver with the homeless. It continues to be a horrific shit show over there in Englewood with the ballless Ian Griffin trying to have me persecuted. I'm not going to be prosecuted. Trying to have me persecuted for the unauthorized practice of law. I have a feeling I might be wrong. I kind of hope I'm wrong. But I have a feeling I've lost Shannon. I have a feeling she's not going to go back to court. I wouldn't blame her. I don't know that I would either if I were in her shoes. That doesn't mean I'm not going to make Ian Griffin eat the proverbial pile of manure that he's earned himself. So that's not going away. However, the effectiveness of being able to help people starts to become the issue. We're in the middle. It's the case again of voting between the two lesser of evil. Neither one of them I have any hopes for. Make him eat the dog's ass, Regan. Yeah, get me a real vile dog. It's gonna turn around and bite his face off as he's doing it. Phyllis, thank you. Jesse mattered. He was a person, and all of us that follow this channel cared. I know you do, and I know you still do. And there are still a lot of people out there that need caring. But the effectiveness in how to get that done is pretty taxing. I'm just going to be honest. So Glenda, thank you. He will love living with you. I think he will. I think he will. And I think Jesse and I will be traveling together quite a bit. If you guys didn't see this in the beginning of the stream, this is an urn, and they put some of Jesse's ashes into this owl urn. I love owls. They're wise. I think Jesse had a lot to offer if you would take the time to sit down and talk to him and understand his way of life and all the hows and whys. Jesse was a wise man. And as he would say, hey man, hey, come live my life and see if you can do this. I've had so many conversations with Jesse. I'd say, Jesse, why'd you do that? Hey man. He was a trip. Jesse was a ton of fun. You think he'd love the beach, Irish Rover? That's a good thought. I wonder if he's ever seen it. Hey, man. Let's go to the beach. That's a big deal. So, at any rate, thanks for being with me. Thanks for letting me talk through it and look at these things. And I would just have to continue to work to understand it all, which there's nothing to understand. And there's no right to the wrong, and everything that's right is wrong and wrong is right. That's all we can do. Yeah, Glenwood, thanks for being in here. Yeah, no, isn't that great? This owl. It's sterling silver on a sterling silver chain. It wasn't cheap, but it's worth every penny. So, and my neck is terribly red because my blood pressure is very high. It is, it's just fact, it's just very high. Shelley, wow, good to see you in here. Our government doesn't have any compassion for us on the street. As resources, they pick and choose who gets them. Amen. Shelley is on the streets here as well. And Shelley is reconnecting with me. And Shelley, I need you to tell me where you're at so I can come talk to you. Please. We got to try to work through some stuff. Sending aloha from Maui. That's wonderful. I will, Irish Rover. I'll tell everybody hi. All right. So, you guys, thank you very much. And we'll see what the next stream brings. But right now, cut it off. Back to business. I got to upload this court hearing so you guys can watch what Ian Griffin did in the courtroom. So be watching for that. I'm going to go do it. I promise. Okay? Hey, Karen. Good to see you. Thank you, Shits and Giggles. Thanks, everybody, for being in here. Talk to you next time.